Hello and welcome to Colin Bunyan's video recipes. This one's been requested from a lot of people at work. I'm of course talking about my pecan coffee cake. Coffee cake doesn't mean there's coffee in it. It's a cake that's designed to have with a cup of coffee. Now you know why I love it so much. Okay, this might seem a little odd, a bit Eston Blumenthal, but trust me, 200 grams of pecans are going in there, and I'm just going to give them a bit of a toasting until, just so they start to smell a little bit nice. Don't want to cook them too much, they've already been cooked, but the smell will work and it'll add to the flavour. You see, some of them are just starting to get a little bit of char. I don't know how well you can see that. Just starting to get a little bit there. That's when you know they're just about done. There we are. They go into a bowl. Right, and in the meantime, I'm going to melt the butter in the same pan, okay? Because you've got the pecan flavour in the frying pan, so I want to infuse the butter with the pecan flavour. Just adds another layer, okay? Now you're not meant to make brown butter, although it can be useful in certain circumstances. So you've got to be fairly quick in melting this. You don't want to be over a heavy heat, that's why I've turned it down to a medium-low. And that is it. It's foamed up, that's it, that's melted. That will stay in the liquid state for a little bit. Okay, and I need to blitz these pecans. Now, as I said before, this is the world's cutest, but most inadequate food processor, so I'm having to do this in batches. I'll pulse on and off, and the melted butter, which is still in a liquid state. You really want to scrape all that out, because that is butter that's infused with the pecan, that flavour that we toasted. Goes in. 60 grams of caster sugar, 75 grams of dark brown sugar, and the obligatory dusting of cinnamon. And that gets mixed up very, very well. So there's no lumps of sugar. There we are, that is the pecan crumb cake mixture. That gets reserved. We now need to prepare the dry ingredients. So what I've got here is 275 grams of plain flour. Truth be told, I've only got 255. I've had to add 20 grams of self-raising flour into the mixture. 1 teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon to 3/4 of bicarb of soda, and a pinch, well, about a couple of grams of salt. Now this has to be sifted in, because this results in a lighter cake, and although this is not meant to be an extremely light cake, you don't want to have anything too heavy in it, so take your time and sift it. There's 120 grams of butter, but this has to be at room temperature, okay? It has to be at room temperature. Has to be soft and malleable. 120 grams goes in, and I'm going to need 200 grams of caster sugar. There is the vanilla extract. Got to put that in now. Vanilla works better when you add it to butter or anything that's high fat. Okay, so it works quite well there. And grab a heavy duty spatula, and you need to cream the mixture together. So if the butter's at room temp, shouldn't take too long. If it's ice cold from the fridge, expect to be here for ages. You can use an electric mixer if you've got it, but frankly I try and avoid using electric mixers. I'm a bit old school in that regard. Okay, that's what the mixture should look like. It's pale, it's golden brown, and it's integrated. Grab a whisk, 2 eggs, one at a time. First you'll think, oh my god, it's ruined. Look at that, look at that. Right? Because the two just don't want to amalgamate. I'll move that there, I'll make it a bit close. Yeah, the two just don't want to amalgamate at first. Keep whisking, keep whisking. You'll have that incorporated. And most of it's stuck in the whisk. Second egg. And now a 300ml pot of sour cream. You'd probably work out about 250ml because there's usually a fair amount left in the middle of it, in the pot still. That is the key. Okay, that's what makes the cake moist, rich, and decadent. A whisk, and then carefully fold in the dry ingredients. That's that done. And the trick is about half of the mixture, but don't go overboard in measuring it, just do it roughly by eye. About half the mixture. And this is quite a thick mixture which you need, so don't stress. But the next step, you need to get that smoothed out as level as you can. First off, there you go, and then about half of the nut mixture. Okay, sprinkle it on. By the way, the oven is on gas mark 5 already, so by the time the cake's ready for baking, the oven's up to temperature. You're really going to need to get as much out as you can. This is not a recipe, by the way, where you can make a dozen cakes and lick the bowl afterwards. You really need to use all the sponge mixture. Now, you need to get a level top, but you don't want to incorporate the mixture below. And this is the very adhesive. So you really need to pay attention here. That's why I'm using a very small spatula rather than a large one. There we have it. And then finally, the last, oh, there you go, thank you, the last of the pecan crumb mixture. Again, that needs to be spread out lightly over the top. 35 to 40 minutes at gas mark 5. I'm going to show you what it looks like when it comes out. Comes out clean, beautiful, that's done. Right, now we need to let that cool down for at least an hour. Okay, must get to room temperature, and then we can cut it and sort it out from there. There we are, that's what the cakes look like. It has collapsed in the middle, that's because I was taking it out to test. So don't worry too much about that, that's fine. Hold on one sec. There we are, now I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to take a piece. Always a tricky thing this. It's meant to serve 12. I think realistically you're probably looking at near 8. Pecan cake. Look at how light and moist that is. That is looking absolutely glorious and decadent. And it's still warm, it's not hot. Oh, ho, ho. Where's my coffee? Rich, buttery, decadent, sweet. Oh man, the pecans are what make this. This is absolute. Oh man. That's how you make a cake for a cup of coffee, and I'll see you next time. Catch you later.